Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to talk about the DLC again, but I'm going to approach it from a little bit of a different angle, and we're going to see if the DLC is going to be able to retain the PvP audience better than the original release of Elden Ring did. Now, before we get into it, I do want to apologize that I've not been uploading quite as much the last week as I was before. Now, it's twofold as to why that is. First thing is that the spear video took a lot of effort, so I'm just taking a little bit of a mental breather. But also, I'm more so wanting to make videos I actually care about, and when I try pushing out like 4 or 5 videos a week, I'm just going to end up making videos that I actually don't care about. So, with that being said, I may not end up uploading quite as much as I was the last month, but hopefully you guys appreciate the quality of the videos going up at least somewhat. But to get back on topic, now about the DLC, the thing that has been worrying me is what if the DLC comes out, Elden Ring gets a bunch of its player base back, and then it leaves just about as soon as it did when Elden Ring first came out. Because the reality of the matter is that Elden Ring lost its player base extremely fast, okay? And the thing is that it's understandable, Elden Ring had a couple things going for it and a couple things against it at release that has perhaps changed over time. So first thing is that for some reason Elden Ring got a lot of people, a lot of like your average gamer base people that are only going to play through the game once to buy it. Like Elden Ring did really good when it comes to its sales. So it's understandable that a lot of people would leave that aren't going to have any intention of playing the PvP. But the thing is that it also lost a lot of people that were interested in the PvP. It lost the interest of a lot of people that have been playing these games for a while. Now, the reason Elden Ring lost so many of its PvP players is because the game at launch was in a significantly worse place than it is now. Like, at launch, we didn't have some of the core things that you would expect from current day invasions. Like, you didn't have the ability to invade anywhere on the map you've already been, as well as the way that the game just worked mechanically was a bit more brain dead, with stuff like Bloodhound Step and things of the sort. Like, the game was worse off due to things like that existing. But invasions really haven't gotten all that much better. And the thing is that the majority of the PvP player base, I'm guessing, are interested in invasions because duels are fun. Duels are cool, especially when you're communicating with people in, say, a Discord or something like that. However, it's definitely a minority of the player base that is interested in that type of thing. So I'm guessing that invasions is what holds the interest of the majority of the PvP players, the ones that mostly just stick to themselves. Now, I know that I've made quite a couple videos critiquing Elden Ring invasions and why they are pretty lackluster. However, the thing is that there are other dynamics involving the PvP balance team and the release of the DLC that if they stay the same as they were before, yeah, I mean, we could perhaps see the DLC's player base leave quickly again. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, instead of, say, like all of the issues with invasions, is an issue with the Elden Ring balance team itself. While they tend to make pretty good changes, the thing is that they update the game way too infrequently. There was a stint between like 1.6 and 1.8 that we were getting a update around every, I think it was around like 3 months, which is already not that good in comparison to other games. But ever since patch 1.10, which released like 8-9 months ago, we haven't gotten anything. And that's going to be like a full-blown year by the time that the DLC comes out. We already know that the DLC is going to have weapons that are a problem, either ones that are too strong or too weak. So the thing is that, and also that's not even to mention whatever glitches might come from the DLC. But the thing is that like if they take forever to patch those things, yeah, people are just gonna feel like they don't care and that they just would rather go play a game that gets an update every month or something on those lines. And I know I've talked about this multiple times before, but I can't stress enough how important it would be to at the very least, have the game go from 4-player worlds to 5-player worlds, with that extra slot being for a co-invader specifically. See, the thing is that part of the reason why invasions can be so unappealing in Elden Ring is because they're such an isolating experience. Generally speaking, you're only going to get co-invasions if the host allows you to. And other than that, what you're mostly going to be fighting is 1v3s. And 1v3s are significantly more difficult than, say, 4v2s from Dark Souls 3, right? Because two different 2v1s is way more manageable than one person having to fight a 1v3, especially against people that are unable to hit themselves, and then also with the intense amount of spam in this game. Also, speaking of spam, the next thing I wanted to talk about is that Ash of War and spell spam are so bad in Elden Ring in comparison to past Souls games, because so many of the spells in this game allow you to combo cast, or they're just so oppressive that you have to roll, in which case a phantom will use the same thing over and over. For example, say things such as Star Shower or Collapsing Stars or any of the Rot Breaths. These things that, like, if you're at the right range, there's borderline nothing you can do about it other than endure and try to get around a corner. But at the same time, they've also made a game that has extremely large areas that have no cover at all. So I think that there's sort of two things that hopefully they sort of have learned from their mistakes and they implement into the DLC. Hopefully they make it to where there is some sort of system that punishes you for spamming something over and over. And then hopefully what they do is they make it to where the DLC, even in open fields, has a lot more cover. Like the complete lack of cover in this game is extremely annoying, because a thin little tree is not enough to hide from a dragon breath or to get the comet spammer to stop hitting you. Because oftentimes when you're hiding behind something that small, the projectile, even though it looks like it hit the tree, will just hit you anyways, which is really annoying. So yeah, I would like it if they were to do something about the spam, because the biggest issue that could come with increasing the player limit is the increase to the spam. So hopefully they were to do a couple subtle things to alleviate that problem. Now, another thing that could stand to be changed big time is a rework to the spawning system. See, other than the game spawning you at the bottom of a mountain when everybody's at the top, which we all know is extremely annoying, something that is a little bit more damaging in terms of how many invasions it affects is spawning behind your opponent. And so what ends up happening a lot of the time is that you will invade a world, you will start chasing where they are going to be on the compass on the map, and then immediately once you're like getting there, they walk through the boss fog, because this is kind of a problem that affects Elden Ring because it is so large. Most people are going to summon phantoms right at a boss fog, because you're not going to find random signs in the world all that often, and most often people are just annoyed and don't want to play through the entire world to get to the boss. Like, once they find the boss, they just want to summon right before it. And so it makes for this really annoying cycle where you invade a world, you've just spent like 2-3 minutes trying to get into a world, you get one, and then what happens immediately is you get sent back home. So the spawns, other than just needing a complete verticality rework, they also need to factor in if your opponent is close to a boss fog or not, because you get boss fogged a ton in this game. Another huge aspect of keeping the PvP player base is making it to where getting all of the different materials in the game is not a complete headache. Like, if you're essentially forced to dupe as a PvP player in Elden Ring. Okay, so the thing is that Starlight Shards are one of the most invaluable items in the entire game, and you only get about 25 of them per playthrough. It's like 24 or 25. You know, like, golem arrows are the most invaluable projectile for general use in the game, and they have like a 5% drop on like 4 golems in the game, right? Like there's a lot of different items that have extremely bad drop rates or are capped as to how many you can get in a single run through. So something that it would be absolute foolishness for them to not add is some system to being able to get these rare items a lot easier. And I mean, then there is the well-known joke that is string. There is no like reason on planet Earth that you should not be able to buy string and spades. Like realistically, the items that it crafts are just not that high a value at all, but are ones that you're going to use like 10, 20, 30 of in an invasion, but farming that amount of string will literally take you an hour for like a single invasion. So yeah, that was a pretty big oversight. I hope that they add a vendor that allows you to buy all of the different valuable things, or just make a system where you can get these valuable things very easily. But yeah, like, just let us buy string. Like, why can't we buy string? And another aspect of being able to farm legitimately, if you so choose, is you should definitely be able to have a, say, teleport waypoint that you can bring with you. Now, I know that if they were to do this, it would probably be extremely scuffed, and you would be able to take it out of bounds, and then AFK farming would be worse than ever. Well, the simple fact of the matter is that if they would make it to where the host would stop getting a reward if an invader DCs or severs out of the world, there would literally be no reason for them to do that. Like, you can just leave and there'd be no incentive for the host to play like this. And the thing is too is that they literally added the DC reward to the wrong part of the team. Invaders are not the ones who disconnect. It's hosts and phantoms. So I don't know why they added that for hosts specifically. That makes no sense at all. But yeah, generally speaking, there is too little incentive to be a legitimate, like, farmer in this game. Like, there's too many items, there's too many difficult to obtain items. They need to add ways of being able to get them a lot easier, whether that be via a merchant that sells all this stuff, or a completely different way of being able to get these things, such as, say, rewards for invasion, for winning invasions or winning duels or something like that. Or if they just made it to where on new game cycles your drop chances for things go up substantially. I think that those would all be great things. Now, I do want to talk about covenants, but I want to talk about it in its own video, because I do have quite a bit to say on the topic of what they could do if they add covenants to the DLC to make them great, you know, like to make covenants really fun. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and stop it there for today. If you agree or disagree with what I've said in this video, let me know in the comments below what you would change or what you would not change, whatever that might be. And I will see you guys in the next one. Also, check out the Twitch. While I may not be making quite as many videos as I have been here recently, I've been trying to stream just as frequently as I was before. So the only thing that's been stopping me is my crap internet connection. That will just go out sometimes. But otherwise, I'm still streaming as often as I was. So check out the Twitch. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.